everyone, to this week's new episode of Project Tech Gaming. I'm your host, Rob Garcia, and joining me today is co-host Kelvin Malone. How you doing today, Kelv?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Pretty good. Anything new going on with you?
No, just working and just playing a lot of Control, which we'll get to in a little bit, but yeah.
Ooh, Control.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So on that note, today's topics for today is E3 here to stay. There's a new trailer for the Chinese-inspired game Black Myth. Wukong. Crash 4 and Final Fantasy XIV coming to next-gen consoles. PS5 controllers are starting to drift. Oh no, that's bad.
Oh
no. Pokemon and Post Malone.
Nani? That's a fucking wild
And right, exactly. And last but not least, world's first successful double hand and face transplant using 3D technology.
I'm excited
But before we get to those topics, Kelv, let everyone know what the play of the week was.
So I kind of already spilled it. Play of the week is the Control. I started playing that and I fairly enjoy it. I think it's a very good. It's one of Remedy's better games. So it's made by Remedy Entertainment, right? And so they're the people that made like Alan Wake and Max Payne 1 and 2. So they're pretty, I would say, AAA studio, and they're well known for their games. Control kind of takes a different approach to things, right? They made this game, and it's kind of like a third person, I would say like a third person action adventure game, but it has like these how do I say this? It has like a lot of the things that you would catch from like Kojima, right? So it's like very psychological, it's very almost eerie in a sense. And it's inspired by a lot of, from what it looks like Kojima and things like that. But it's cool. So most of the game pretty much takes place. Let me see if I could find my little notes here. Hang on one second. Sorry about that. It's a lot of it has to do with this lady who essentially she's trying to find her younger brother, and she goes into this bureau, and she's pretty much trying to find answers to where her brother's been missing for 17 years.
Oh wow! So the plot of the game is just this lady. What's her name?
Her name is I forget her name. Jesse Faden.
Okay, that's the redhead chick, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and she's on a mission to find her brother that she haven't seen for 17 years.
For 17 years, yeah. So that's the broader portion of the game.
Yeah, without giving out spoilers.
Right, but there's a lot of like interweaving things that kind of like add more to the story, and that's the main thing about this game is the story. It takes place in New York, and you're in this essentially you're in this like federal bureau in New York City, and you're investigating like this huge building, and it has like all these offices and all these like conference rooms. Very beautiful, by the way. Game is gorgeous, and you're just kind of you're trying to find answers. And again, it kind of reminds me of that last game that I was playing, right? So I was playing the medium before, and it kind of has that same twist where it gives you that sense of progression, but you're not getting enough answers, right?
Okay.
So you're kind of going through that same motion. So they kind of give you little bits of answers here and there, but you're kind of in this world of like the supernatural events that are going through. You don't know what's going on in the game, right? So you're just kind of like, what the hell is going on? But I think what really stuck with me is the story, because it seems interesting. I don't know what's going on, but it's interesting. But the gameplay's cool. The gameplay, you're playing this girl named Jessie, and she has like these like telekinesis type moves. So she can pick up rocks, she can throw people from afar, she can make a shield full of like debris, like cool stuff like that. And it adds to the gameplay, and then you're able to customize all those things, which is dope as hell.
So it's third person, right? Your third person view.
Yeah.
Doing this.
Yep.
Okay. And why is the name? Why is a game called Control It? Do you get to control different elements? Or is there like what exactly are you? Are someone controlling her? Like what is the control
Well,
name have to do with the game?
that's a good question. I think definitely has a lot to do with herself because although you I guess in the grand scheme of things you're controlling objects and throwing them towards people. There's also somebody in the back of her head that's kind of like talking to her,
Okay.
and it's kind of like a another like another like
Is
phenomenon
it
or
like is
something.
it is it like Hellblade? Is it kind of like
Yes,
that where like
something
the
similar. Yeah,
whispering?
yeah, exactly. So you can think of this game as like her, like a Hellblade, and then if you want to think of like, um, I don't know, like her telekinesis powers, you can think of Stranger Things, right? 11. Like she has like
Okay.
that type
Cool.
of like sense to her, right? So, but she has this thing that's constantly talking to her and telling her things. So I don't know. I mean, I didn't beat the game, but I don't know if it's something that is gonna kind of start taking control of her in the later portion of the game, or if it's something that she's trying to control on her own. Like those things like that kind of like interweave as you keep going through the story.
So as far as like the bad guys go, right? Is there like monsters? Are they people?
As of right now, I've only fought people. So they look like
There's people.
possessed. They're possessed beings that they look like guards. They used to work there. It looks like, and you can think of it as like Metal Gear Solid 5, like when they had those possessed soldiers, and they looked like they were, they were kind of like lifeless in a way. They were hovering, things like that. Again, a lot of Kojima stuff. A lot of like weird, like people hanging from walls and pyramids, like things like that are just kind of creepy.
So is it more thriller than scary?
I would say
Like you're
it has a combination of thriller and like psychological horror as well. Yeah.
okay. And lastly, what were your thoughts on it? Did you enjoy it? Are you going to keep playing or do you beat it?
Oh, I'm enjoying it. It's great. I think what going back to the medium, what medium lacked was the storytelling was great, but the um,
Gameplay was clunky.
gameplay was clunky. One, and then just the way people interacted with each other, I feel like there wasn't that great of a communication between characters. Whereas this one, they have great actors. It seems like the actors are they're top notch and they're doing a great job to kind of progress through the story. So yeah, I definitely recommend this game. I think it's great. If you're definitely looking for a game for a story, like this is it.
And where can I play it? Like if I wanted to play this game, where can I pick it up?
So you can play this game pretty much in last gen consoles, so PS4, Xbox, and next gen consoles as well as PC.
Okay, cool. So there you have it, everyone. Control. Go play it. I've heard good things. I haven't played it myself, but I'm definitely when I get the chance, I'm gonna pick it up. I know it's on Game Pass for free, so I'm gonna go ahead and whenever I get a chance, I'll pick that up.
Hmm.
But moving on, topic number one, Kelvin Rolone. Is E3 here to stay?
Oof. Well, why do you say this?
So
why don't we read the reason why?
So E3 organizer, the Entertainment Software Association, ESA, is pushing forward with plans for a digital event this summer, but it still requires the backing of major game companies. This is from Andy Robertson from BGC. The tentative date is June 14th to the 17th. Intentions are to hold 2-hour keynote sessions and award show. Media previews the week before leading up to E3. June 14th, we'll have previews and other small streams from publishers, streamers, etc. Partner companies to stream playable demos.
Okay.
So this sounds, before you start, it sounds like it's similar to what we've seen before, except that it's not going to be like
It is. It sounds like it is, and it's not, right? It
yeah.
seems like E3 is back, but if you kind of read into it a little bit more, it just kind of seems like it's not going to be as big as it used to be, especially because you don't hear anything from Sony, you don't hear anything from Microsoft. Not even sure if Nintendo's going to be in this. I think to go back to your question, I don't know if E3 is going to come back. We will have to see what happens June 14th because it's a different ball game now. It's not 2019 anymore. 2021 is here, and we have the pandemic. We have companies making their own quote unquote E3, and they are starting to notice I don't really need to pay thousands and thousands of dollars for a venue to showcase my games when I can just do this live publicly whenever we choose to. And it just doesn't make sense at this point, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. Do you think this is going to be forever now? Do you think E3 is like gone? It's going to be a digital thing. Do you think E3 is going to go away and everyone's just going to have their own digital, um, event to showcase everything? Kind of like how Nintendo now has Nintendo Direct, PlayStation has State of Play.
Right.
Do you think that this is now the standard where like, why we spend all this money to be in person when we can just show everything digitally and it's still going to be reached by everyone? So
Yeah, I think this is the future. I think Nintendo was right on the money when they started this. I think they kind of pioneered it in a way because they started the Nintendo Directs, and they showed everyone like, hey, we can still present our games in a way that we want to, not spend as much money, and everything's is fine and dandy on our end. Like everyone enjoys what we're showing, and of course, Microsoft. Oh, I'm sorry, Nintendo had a lot to kind of work on with Nintendo Directs because in the beginning they were pretty lackluster, and they aren't what they are right now. They have like this nice kind of consistency throughout their Nintendo Directs that everyone loves, right? So I think as of right now, the streaming service of like live presentations are here to stay, just not in the same way that it used to be back in E3, where you have like a live performance, you have actual people coming into this venue. I don't think that's happening anymore. So I'm not sure what E3 is gonna do in this aspect. If they're definitely gonna go digital, but they need to have the publishers, and that's gonna be tough.
this might be the beginning of the end for E3 as far as like the future. It might be like just everyone's gonna do their own kind of thing, and it's just gonna be like. Do you think it's still gonna be around the same time? Like they're all gonna just be like, this is a big show. This is around the time we're gonna have everything show. If that makes any sense, as far as like, how like June's a time where everyone shows their
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. I think they're definitely gonna do that. I think June is a sweet spot, kind of like sort of the middle of the year, and they want to please, again, consumers. They want to please their sponsors, and not their sponsors. What are they called? Their
All that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So yeah, I think June is still going to be the sweet spot. What I don't understand or I don't know is how it's going to be like, because back in the day, like we would always like wait for E3. Like we could not wait for E3 because it had like the biggest announcements, the flashiest like trailers. Now it's going to be kind of like a competition between all three or all four of like the the big the big companies, right? E3, Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony. Like they're all gonna try to get that spotlight, and if they're all gonna try to do it in June, it's gonna be a little tight.
Yeah, I
But
agree
we'll see. We just
100%.
have to see it and see how it pans out. I know definitely Sony's gonna continue doing their state of plays. Nintendo is definitely gonna continue doing their Nintendo Directs. Xbox, who knows? They're doing their own thing. So we'll see. The E3 might just be kind of like a small, I wouldn't say small, but like a smaller, like they take a step down to what they're used to.
I think there will be something that's going to take its place, like a big. You know how like the Games Awards, it was not a big thing before.
Yeah, yeah,
Like if people were just like, oh, it's like whatever,
yeah, yeah,
But now it's like this huge thing where people like actually, if you remember watching it last year, it was mostly announcements
yeah,
about new games.
yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't really like, and that could be part because E3 didn't happen
Hmm.
that year.
Hmm.
But I think we're definitely moving towards a more digital friendly scape. I think the
For sure.
big venues and all that kind of stuff, which it's kind of sad because we never got to go to E3, not once,
That's what I'm saying, man.
not
Like
one
I
E3, dude.
really was hoping we can go to E3 at least once, but you think about it, and it's like, did we really want? Like, will we really enjoy it? The
If it's anything
long
like PAX,
waiting, exactly, the long wait line,
yeah,
the long waiting on lines, the amount of people that were around. Like, I just feel like it would have been more trying to finagle around people than actually playing games. I'm like kind of torn between the two. I'm excited that this is happening because again, I enjoy Wednesday morning Sony just popping out of nowhere on Twitter saying, "Hey, there's a state of play tomorrow. Like, come join. Like, it's gonna be great. You're gonna have, like, I'm gonna have 40 minutes, whatever." And then there's also the thing where like I enjoyed waiting for E3 and just kind of seeing what Sony, Microsoft, having that like time frame. Like, okay, Sony's coming at 6 o'clock. Let's watch them, and then right after is Microsoft or whatever the time frame was, and you just kind of had that like full day to just watch E3.
Yeah.
It's not the same anymore, but it's
No.
exciting. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, E3, if this is it, it was nice knowing you.
Yep.
But time to move on to the next topic, which I'm actually super pumped for this game.
Oh yeah.
It's Black Myth. This game, if you haven't seen the trailer for it, go. There was a trailer that came out like way.
It was last year.
Like I think it was last year. Yeah, it was
yeah.
13-minute long trailer. It was insane. It was the gameplay and stuff. And the game's called Black Myth, and it's like a Chinese style Dark Souls mix of like, what else would you call it? Like what kind of like almost Devil May Cry, as far as like action goes?
Yeah, I'd say Devil
Or like
May
Nier,
Cry.
something like that, right?
Yeah. It's dope as fuck. It doesn't matter. It's fucking dope. It's sick. It looks cool. It has more so for me of that Demon Souls esque look to it.
Yeah, it's like a Chinese inspired Dark Souls.
Yeah.
The main character you play as is the Monkey King Wukong. So you play as him, and you could if you watch a trailer, you could transform into different stuff, and he's fighting all the mythical Chinese zodiac creatures. Like
that's so cool.
Like an ox, and
yep.
there's a wolf in there.
Yep.
It's just epic. You know what it reminds me of? Actually, God of War.
Shut the fuck up. Oh, I see it. I see what you're saying.
Like OG. Wait, tell me to shut up, man. OG God of War, but like in a good way. In a good way.
Yeah, because you're fighting like for God of War. You're fighting all these Greeks, Greek gods, and in this one you're fighting
all the mythology and stuff. Exactly. It's more of Chinese mythology.
Yeah, that's cool. I see what you're saying. Yeah, this game it caught everyone by surprise because they just kind of like threw out this trailer last year, and everyone was like, "What the fuck is this? This is crazy. This is dope." And I guess they released this for some type. I think there's like I don't know. They released this a couple days ago, and the trailer is pretty fucking cool. Like it shows a lot of gameplay. It shows your main character, like you just talked about. No release date though, which is kind of underwhelming. But I get it because it's far from finished.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they want this game to be super epic. Is it going to be exclusively on next gen consoles?
Yeah,
or do you think
sure.
They'll be like
they're not even. I don't think this game's coming out anytime soon. I think it's coming out probably late next year. To be honest, I'm gonna be honest with that. And by then, this has to be next gen only. Maybe PC too.
I'm a sucker for like any kind of mythology kind of style game.
Yeah, same.
Like
this just has like that. Like you just, it kind of reminds me of Bloodborne too, though, where you just have those epic fights where you have like these huge beasts, right? And I'm assuming based off of the trailers, there's gonna be a difficulty to them, right? So you have to find a way to kill them, and you're gonna probably die numerous times, and it's just gonna be exciting to just play in that world, in that environment, try to figure out how to kill these enemies, and I'm just excited. It looks cool. It looks badass. You need to check it out, definitely.
Yeah. Again, the name of the game is called Black Myth Wukong. Black Myth Wukong.
Yep.
Topic 3. Crash 4 and Final Fantasy XIV coming to next gen consoles. This is from Twitter and The Verge. Crash has made you spin, jump, and wump for 25 years, and this year he's celebrating in style. Crash 4 will launch on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch on March 12th, 2021. So
let's fucking go. I'm excited. I kind of missed out on this one on PS4. I don't know. I was like, leading up to the game, I was like, yeah, I'm buying this game. And then when it came out, I was like, I don't know. I'll probably wait. but I think I made the right choice because it's coming out now for PS5 and it's gonna look better than ever. And it's just obviously a better console to play. It's gonna probably be 60 frames per second. I can't imagine it not at 4K. So I'm excited. I'll probably get into it. Probably buy it. I don't know. What about you?
So
You're not a huge Crash fan, though, right?
never been. I appreciated Crash. I think I've played it like back in the day and on PlayStation and stuff.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand the appeal. Mike, another question for you is: Crash is coming to Switch. Do you think that the next character for Super
Look
Smash
at
Bros.
you fucking sly dog. Yeah, I've thought about it, to be honest.
Yeah,
Um,
I think the demands there for him to be
yeah,
on Super Smash Bros.
for
As a
sure.
DLC character. So what do you think? Yeah, the probability of that's pretty high.
You have to yeah, right? Like you just have to believe it has to be Crash. How
He
many
just fits in the
how
game.
many characters we have left for Smash? It's
Don't
like
quote me on
3.
this, but I think four, four or three of them left.
One of them has to be Crash. I'll be stoked as fuck if it was Crash, to be honest.
I would like
I think
having
he'd be a
Crash.
different style of gameplay, and like how would like okay, so you know how most of the characters are kind of um they kind of have a outline of one of the previous characters there. Like who do you think Crash would kind of most resemble in Smash Brothers? The closest. I don't know. I can't imagine.
Maybe like a banjo kind of
Maybe.
thing. Banjo
Maybe.
mixed with like maybe like Incineroar. Like you know how like Incineroar has like the spinny move.
Yeah.
So
Actually,
something
yeah,
like
that's
that.
you're spot on. I think you're right. Yeah, I think
You
Incineroar might be
know,
it.
something like that. Like not as heavy punching as Incineroar,
Right,
but
right.
quicker. But
Yeah,
um, so yeah, so
and to have a
it,
Sony rep. I mean, not technically a Sony rep. It's Activision, right? But
yeah, yeah,
you kind of familiarize Crash with Sony. Like that would be cool. That would be epic. Like we already have Banjo, right? We need a Sony rep, and I think
we
that's
do.
Crash
I
or
mean,
Sora
Cloud
or fucking
and
Sora.
and
Cloud,
Sephiroth isn't enough.
yeah, sure. That's not enough though. No, that's Square Enix. I don't give a fuck. But
Uh,
Sora
yeah,
or
we have three Square Enix, right? Hero.
fuck that dude.
He's like, I don't care.
I hate that dude.
But yeah, as far as like real quick, so we don't waste too much time on this one. But what other past gen game would you like to have the Crash treatment? You know, like is there another game from back in the day that you want to see similar to Crash as far as like you know
I thought
reborn
about.
almost?
I was thinking about this game a couple days ago. Ready?
I have an
I think
idea what it
you're gonna
is.
appreciate. No,
Yeah.
this is out of
No?
left field. Ready? Legacy
Can I
of
guess
Kain.
it? Oh.
I think if they remade that game in today's standards, I think that'd be fucking dope.
And
Right?
like Soul Reaver?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I That's good. I was gonna say
You
Ape
like that?
Escape, but I like yours better. I like yours
Oh,
better.
Ape Escape's dope too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would appreciate the Ape Escape too, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
So okay.
yeah, Soul Reaver would be dope for sure.
Uh, and then we'll bring up Final Fantasy XIV coming on to PS5.
Yep.
I know we're not big into Final Fantasy XIV online. Do you think it's cool that it's coming up to PS5? Like,
Yeah, I
I
think um the story behind Final Fantasy 14 is crazy, right? Because it's one of those stories where when it first came out, it was trash. No one, I don't know. Again,
oh
we're
yeah,
not into
it
that
was like
lore.
a swan song. It was just like not
Yeah.
swan song, but it was just like it was so bad, and they basically blew up the game.
hmm hmm
You know, they straight up like they made like a cutscene where it's like the world is being destroyed, and now we're making a new world, which is a new game,
Yep.
which is kind of crazy.
So for them to come back and have it be as popular as it is right now, I think it's
Yeah,
cool. And then for it to come out on PS5, still kind of having its legs, and they're still supporting it. I see that they're making a new expansion pack called Endwalker,
called
which is
yeah, Walker.
cool. Like good for them. Like that the open beta for it is coming out April 13th, which is cool. So I think it's cool. I think it's good for the players that enjoy it. I think of like Ryan, for example. that enjoy games like this, like that's cool. If they're into it, great. It's coming out PS5. If you have one, great.
I think this is a good entry point for like people they don't have like PCs.
Yeah,
That
for sure.
they get to play these massive online games where it's like the entry point's like, oh, I'll play it on PlayStation 5, and then like, oh, maybe there's other stuff that's like that on PC. Maybe I'll go into PC.
And I think the cool part is too, if you registered in the PS4 version of the game, the new optimized version will be playable at no additional cost. I think a lot of
Nice.
developers are doing that, and I think that's fantastic. I think the same thing with Crash. If you bought it on PS4, you get the PS5 version at no cost.
Very cool. And we just have a tiny segment here. This just in, we have some side topics that just mysteriously appeared.
Honey? This is pretty cool. This is actually like it could have been a huge topic if we wanted to, but it's just like whatever.
So Ratchet and Clank has a release date for June 11th, 2021. Pre-order Digital Standard Deluxe for early access, and for the Pixelizer, which I guess is a kind of gun.
It's a gun, yeah. It's from the Ratchet and Clank 2016 version.
And Carbonic Armor from Going Commando in 2003.
Yep.
And I'm not going to go into details of like what each edition includes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's on their website. You can look it up.
Yeah, you can just look at that. But
that's cool. I mean, I'm excited for Crash. I can't wait for it. Oh, Crash. Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, well, that too, yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for Ratchet and Clank though. That's gonna be like pretty dope. I'm surprised. June 11th. They definitely stated first quarter of 2021. And
take everything that's coming out this year with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
So,
well, why do you,
like
so?
said,
I think a lot of it probably had to do with obviously COVID, right? And do you think it has to do with the scalpers too? Sony's like, well, not that many people have our console that actually are playing our games. So why are we gonna release this to kind of like fail? Just wait till June.
I don't
Hopefully
think
more people will
fail.
have it. Well, think about it. Scalpers, for the most part, have these PS5s. They're not being used. That means they're not buying.
It's got to come down eventually. It's got to come down sooner. I don't think. I mean, June we still might be a little bit in short supply, but like
that's what I'm saying. But this was supposed to be first quarter of 2021. This is supposed to come out like March.
Basically. I don't know if that's a huge huge point as to why. It's a tiny factor, but there could have been like crunch kind of thing or like But it's a good point to bring up that maybe it's definitely.
That's my guess. Like you think about it, not a lot of games are coming out right now. Not because, and I'm assuming it's because obviously they're not ready. Again, COVID has a lot to do with it. But what if it has somewhat to do with the whole, scalper situation, where like there's not enough PS5s out there to kind of like supply the purchasing of games. So why release them right now? PS5s are still selling like hotcakes, right? So just wait it out, maybe see how June looks like.
See if it levels up, so more people that actually are playing them and can get their hands on it. So maybe that could be it. That's viable. One little vertical slice here too is vertical slice. Kingdom Hearts series is coming out exclusively on the Epic Game Store on March 30th, 2021, with a new Keyblade for Kingdom Hearts 3 called Element Encoder. So this is interesting.
Interesting, right? What do you think? I'm curious to know what you think about this.
So does that mean it's going to be available for PC as well? If it's on the Epic Game Store?
Yeah, it's a PC game. It's coming out for PC. So, but it's exclusive to just Epic Game Store. So it's not coming out for Steam. Like, it's wild, right? Kind of weird.
That is weird that Epic is like, we want Kingdom Hearts.
Right? What does that mean?
And the fact that like they made it a Keyblade just for it for the online. Now, is it going to come like Kingdom Hearts 3? Is that going to come with the expansion pass or the expansion DLC?
I don't know. I would hope so. Right? It's coming out with, from my understanding, it's coming out with all the Kingdom Hearts games. So the complete addition to it.
So it will be Final Mixes like Final Mix 1, Final Mix 2 that all be in there. Interesting. Well, we'll just have to see, but I want to see what that Keyblade looks like.
Yeah, they didn't show any.
That's how they're gonna get me. Watch, I played the game. I beat the game already.
There's no way.
I'm gonna buy just the Keyblade. Just for the Keyblade.
I'm a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, but I mean, at a certain point, you're gonna have to stop. I'm like, all right, I get it. I'm not gonna
What
buy
if
it for
it's
PC.
the dopest Keyblade you have ever seen? It's like the coolest one they ever
Is it
came out with.
doper than the Ultimate Weapon, bro? You know how hard it took. Like, you know how much time it took for us to actually get that weapon.
What if it's cooler than
I might get it. I mean, if you, I mean,
that?
so if they, but is it just exclusive to the PC version, or can it? You know what I mean? Like, if they're releasing this for PC, but can they also release element encoder for all the, like, for PS5 or PS4, I should say?
Maybe.
I'd be down for that.
Maybe, but I mean, I'm not opposed to getting it for downloading it on PC and then doing like a stream for it and like going through the whole game,
Mm,
the whole three series for people that are like new to the series. That'd be kind of cool.
yeah, yeah,
Cool.
that'd be cool. March
So
30th is right around the corner too, so
yeah,
that's
that's a little over a month. So
yep.
let's if again if you haven't played Kingdom Hearts, I recommend it, but I also don't recommend it because the
Yeah,
story is just like absolutely bonkers and you need a degree to understand the story because
yeah.
it's just
It's a love hate relationship with Kingdom Hearts.
yeah.
So I'll leave it at that.
If you love cliffhangers and questions, you'll love
If you love
Kingdom Hearts
not
2.
knowing what the fuck's going on, you'll love Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. Yeah. That's Kingdom Hearts in a nutshell.
Pretty much.
Um so topic number 4. This is kind of like I was kind of like I don't want to say sad, disappointed. I was disappointed when I read this.
Hmm.
PS5 controllers are starting to drift. Reports are coming in about the controllers drifting.
Mhm.
Users reported just 10 days after receiving their PS5s. Um, Another user posted a video playing Destiny 2 showing the major drifting as his gun moves across the screen. Kelv, what's going on? Why are we having controller drift on
Well,
on these things?
all I know is my PS5 controllers are fine. I haven't had any issues with mine, right? And I'm curious to know how many of these users are being reporting, like are being reported as like drifting. Like, is it that many that it's gonna be causing a concern? Because I haven't heard Sony say anything about this yet.
I would think they would nip it in the butt pretty quick as far as because they saw what happened to Nintendo. Because
Yeah, for
Nintendo's
sure.
actually getting sued
Yeah,
over it. I'm
yeah,
pretty sure with the control. It's really bad. My freaking thing's drifting now.
yeah.
But
Mine's too.
I mean, is it like the console hasn't been out that long?
No, so for
You
it to
know?
have these issues, if it is a major, like, widespread issue, then that's pretty disappointing. Like you said, I don't think it's that big of an issue, or I don't think it's that widespread as Kotaku was trying to make it out to be. I think um,
Now is this
they're
only an
only showing
issue?
two issues, or like two people that are called, like, they're having these issues, right? Unless
But
there's
is this
more.
an issue with? Was this an issue with the PS4 controller?
No,
The
I
drifting.
haven't heard anything about the PS4 controller. I've had
I
my
remember.
PS4 controllers for years and no issue.
Yeah, 360 controllers. They had
Same.
that issue.
Oh, did they?
They did have the issue. They had controller drift. That I remember. I
Interesting.
used to play Gears of War all the time. They would happen. I'd have to get a controller every couple of months. Um, but the elite, I know the elite controllers. They don't do that because they're not plastic. They're like a metal.
They're also fucking $200, so yes, they
Yeah,
better not do that shit. You know what I mean?
exactly.
So I
Um,
don't know. This strikes me as odd. I hope this, if it is a widespread issue, it gets fixed. Obviously, Sony has to get on this if it is. I, again, haven't. I've had my PS5 since day one, and I have not had any of these issues. However, I haven't been playing my PS5 like a maniac, like I'm assuming other people have been. They're putting in, like, you know 40 hours, 50 hours in the game. I've been kind of digging away at games here and there, trying to catch up to video games, but not as long as other people per se.
no, for sure. Like I said, we'll just have to monitor and see if it becomes an issue, a widespread issue. If it's just like a few that's happening to, then I guess they're going to be like, whatever, you're just not taking care of your controllers. But
So, off topic. So, do you think Sony at this year? Do you think Sony's gonna announce, one, a different color scheme for their, let's say, just for the controllers, right? Not for their console itself. And two, do you think they're gonna actually announce their faceplates? Like, it has to be coming, right? I'm sure the PlayStation 5's faceplates are removable,
Yeah.
and as of right now, there's no alternative to them. You just kind of have these white faceplates, and that's it. But Sony has to have something at some point, right?
Latest I think would be E3. They'd show it.
Yeah.
Like state of play.
Yeah.
If they were gonna do, they need some kind of like cool like reveal thing. So that'll be it. Like I said, there hasn't really been too much traction on PS5 as far as like
It's quiet right now.
accessories. Yeah, like different
Meanwhile,
editions and stuff.
you have Microsoft, right? They show that dope ass blue controller. They have that Valentine red controller.
Mm-hmm.
Dope as fuck. Like I want that for Sony. I want those color schemes for PS5.
Yeah, I definitely think they're gonna wait till E3. So
We'll see.
we will see. First, I get a PS5 first.
You got to get on that. I don't think you're driven. Like, have you been trying? No.
Bro, I'm not gonna sit at a checkout and just constantly like refreshing the like.
So you wonder
the-
why you don't have a PS5? You're not putting your cojones in there. Like you have to.
I just feel like spending $400 on something to work. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm giving you $400. I shouldn't have to work to get it.
That's not how life works though. Like you just have to like. It's just one of those things where you just have to buy it. Like you have to like. Unfortunately, you have to work hard to buy something and spend money on it. Like especially something like how high demand this this system is.
Yeah, I know. We'll see. I'll get one eventually.
All right, I want to play. I know it's dumb. I want to play Call of Duty on PS5 with you, and just see the difference. I want to feel like we played on PC, and obviously our PC is better. But I just wanna, like just play on PS5, like on my big screen monitor, like on my big screen TV, and just enjoy life. You know what I mean?
So, to be continued. Will Rob ever get a PS5? We're gonna make an episode on that.
Yeah.
By the way,
if you don't, you have to get one this year though, like 100%, right?
I'll get one.
All right.
Topic number 5: Pokemon and Post Malone.
What the fuck?
What is this about?
I saw this and I was like, what is going on? This is wild.
They made a Post Malone Pokemon? I'm just kidding.
Fucking dumb.
Join Pokemon and Post Malone on February 27th, 2021 for a Pokemon Day virtual concert, streaming live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
What is happening? Pokemon just Post Malone. What the fuck?
It's on YouTube, Twitch, and Pokemon.com/25. All right. Who got high and was like, yo, you know who we need to sing some Pokemon songs? Post Malone.
Someone.
First off, that's sick. That's really.
I'm
really
not
sick.
mad about it. That's the thing. Like, you would think you read this and you're like, what the fuck? This is crazy. This is stupid. It's crazy. But I think it's cool. I think it's dope. I think it actually is gonna be dope.
It's animated.
Is it?
So just to like tell you about the trailer, obviously if you haven't seen it. It starts out as like Post Malone just like walking up, like going to a venue. Like he's like all dressed up, about to like go on stage. And he's like saying some inner monologue stuff. And then he goes for Pokemon or something like that. And then the curtains open. No, he's holding a Pokeball. Sorry, before the curtains open, he's holding you see a Pokeball.
Okay.
And then the curtains open and he transforms into like a cartoon version of himself or like a virtual version of himself.
Okay.
So
I did not see the trailer, so
it's gonna be it's gonna be like him digital. It's gonna be him like in cartoon form. It's not actually gonna be him live singing. I want to be the very best.
The very best.
I mean? Yeah. Okay. So, but that I feel like it's gonna be so hype.
So my question is though, who is this for? It's not for fucking little Jimmy that's 10 years old playing Pokemon. Right? It has to be for us, for like the guys that've been with Pokemon.
Yeah,
it's for Robert. It's for you.
It's for me. Like, I'm gonna be there, like just sitting there like this, like like.
I think it's a bold move. Wait. I think it's a bold move from Pokemon, from the Pokemon company, and it's just wild. It's like, okay, cool, but why? So they're celebrating 25 years of Pokemon. And what better way to celebrate by making a huge statement of a huge, like a huge fucking bang and having Post Malone fucking do a virtual concert for Pokemon. That's insane.
Yeah, I think that's like they're on the money with that. I can't really think of anyone else I'd want doing that. You know,
Yeah, because I think he fits well. I mean, it
like they
it
announced like Katy
works.
Perry was doing something, and I'm like, oh,
You'd be
Katy
like, all
Perry.
right, whatever,
Like,
cheesy,
all
right?
right, like yeah, but then I'm like, Post Malone, like
Corny.
I like both,
Post
you
Malone's
know.
dope, and I wouldn't be surprised if like the new Pokemon movie that will come out at some point, right? Pokemon 2, whatever it's called. Post Malone will kind of have like a back, like a music
Oh,
number.
Detective Pikachu, like the live action one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
So
I
do
wouldn't be
you?
mad again if he makes a song for Pokemon.
I can just see the fact that it's like virtual is going to be sick. Like it's going to like show like Post Malone like battling like being a trainer, like battling with somebody or something. I feel like that'd be sick if they did
Can
that.
Post Malone be a trainer in the next Pokemon?
Can you know what Post Malone would make a good gym leader?
Right? What Pokemon would
Yeah,
he have? Ho ho! I feel like he would have like Grimer and shit. Like like
yeah. He would
he's
have like poison type and
yeah
like dark type. I
yeah.
feel
I
like
see that
that,
definitely.
but it'd be like a garbage Pokemon. I know there's rubbish. I don't know the name of the Pokemon, but there literally is a garbage
Garbage
Pokemon. And
Pokemon.
now
Yeah.
I'm not calling Post Malone garbage. I'm just saying that
No, but like I can see him having like coughing. Like I'm thinking of
wheezing
old school Pokemon.
Arbok,
Obviously I don't know any
yeah.
of the new Pokemon, but yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
It's cool. I think I'm definitely gonna watch it. When is it? The 27th
uh, it's February
at
27th
7.
and at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and it's gonna be on YouTube, Twitch, and Pokemon.com/25.
All right.
So pretty excited. All right, last topic of the day. World's first successful double hand and face transplant using 3D technology. I'm going to read a little bit from an article here. It's from sourceitonline.com. 22-year-old patient suffered burn resulting from a car accident, leaving him with severe injuries to his face and both arms. He suffered significant damage to his soft tissue, which severely limited his ability to lead a normal life. Clinical engineers formed a cohesive team alongside NYU Langone surgeons, rehearsing the operation in a lab environment to develop and fine-tune the surgical plan. Once a suitable donor was found, Eduardo D. Rodriguez, MD, and his team only 24 hours to begin the procedure that would improve the patient's functions, appearance, and quality of life. Holy crap, this is freaking crazy. Kelv, you know a lot about this. Let's go on. How did this all happen? What's going on?
So I thought this was an interesting topic, mostly because if you don't know, I'm a CT technologist at a hospital, so I do CAT scans for a living, and I kind of deal with this every day. I take pictures of people on like a layman's terms, and I take pictures of their bones, their soft tissue, whatever. And this particular, I thought this article was interesting because they basically enhanced or they improved someone's quality of life by building a 3D replica of a patient, and they use these like prostheses, I guess you want to say,
Okay.
and they surgically implanted these, they surgically implanted both arms and face to help this person, kind of live another day. And we do that at my job, at my hospital. And I think I showed you once before how I kind of do those
Yeah.
things.
Uh-huh.
So you basically, when you scan the patient, you have the software that makes a 3D replica of whatever you just scanned. And that is a huge way that doctors and surgical doctors are able to improve someone's quality of life by, you know, changing or doing surgery on like knees and doing surgery on forearms like this, for instance. This is like a huge step forward in technology. We've been doing this for years.
Absolutely.
This isn't anything new,
Yeah.
by the way, but I just thought it was interesting because it's just a cool topic to talk about when it comes to technology.
Do you want to know like where my brain went to? This is going to say a very dumb thing. When I read the headline of this,
Mm.
I was like, they 3D printed his like hands
Yes,
and a
they used a
face, and they
3D
put
printer, and then they just plopped it inside this man's forearm, and then there you
that's where
go.
my brain went. Like
Yeah.
that's how dumb I was. Like, no, you dumbass, that's not what happened. Like,
It takes a lot. It's honestly, it's kind of interesting. They use sort of like these game controllers in a way,
yeah,
like back in the day, kind of like knobs and shit. So when you're doing a procedure, they have uh, they have these mechanical arms that are just like moving based off of what you're doing with the controller, and that's how they're doing the procedure. Some doctors don't even have to be in the room to do the procedure anymore at this point.
that's
So
nuts.
this is it's just cool because I mean I don't get to see that aspect every day because I'm only in the CAT scan portion of things, but seeing this and knowing what like I do for a living is improving someone else's life and just kind of doing this on a daily basis, I think it's dope. But not so
Yeah,
much this, it's just the fact that like technology is insane right now, right? Like it's
like
improving every
yeah,
day, and the fact that you're able to physically make a 3D model, just spin it, rotate it left, right, up, down, however you want on just a scan that you just did in 2 minutes, and then have a surgical plan of how you're gonna improve this man's life by replacing his forearm and putting it in with another forearm that you just made out of a computer. That's insane. That
you just saved this guy's life. Like literally, just saved his life in the sense of like his life was damaged forever.
yeah,
You know, like don't get me wrong, he's still traumatized and he still has to live with that thing, but you just like he's able to actually lead a normal life, which is so cool. Like you, because when just from him going to that one thing, it altered his life forever,
right,
changed the course of his life. Now with this new technology, yeah, it's not going to be the same, but you can get closer to the same.
right,
You know, like way better to what the alternative is. So
for sure.
that's awesome. That like this is the coolest thing. I think like this is the coolest part about technology is like when you're helping someone's quality of life.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure. Yeah, and then I think it's interesting to talk about because it's improving. Like this technology, like I said, hasn't it's been here for years, right? For a couple years. It's still relatively new, honestly, but it's been here before we've been kind of like doing anything, right? And I think it's important to know that every day this technology is just making strides to just improve like my technology at work right now isn't even the
yeah.
most up to date technology that they have for CAT scan. There's
Hmm.
Hartford Hospital has like a brand new scanner and it does crazy shit that our scanner is like nowhere near able to do, you know? So I just think it's dope. Like the 3D portion of what I do is probably like my most like I enjoy that the most. And there's so many things you can do. You can add tissue to a person's skin if you wanted to. You can remove the tissue. You can again do the spin if you wanted to. You can change like you can remove the bones, add the bones. Like there's a lot that you can do with
That's
that.
nuts.
It's insane.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, technology can do a lot of good. It does a lot of good for people. Obviously, there's bad things about technology, having too much technology, and we can get to another conversation about that. But
Right, right.
for the most part, like it's just like when helping a person's life, quality of life, it's just going to get better and better and better as far as technology. Like the more technology we develop, the closer we are to helping people and having a much bigger impact on helping them. You know?
And I think it definitely like this kind of goes into video games too. I think back in the PS3 era, Sony was doing this thing called folding at home. I don't know if you remember that at all,
I do remember that. And it was
right?
like how it was like sending information
Yeah, all you had to
to
do was
like
just
researchers or
put it
something.
in, put like turn it on, like turn the application on, and it would just collect data or something
It was
somehow.
for cancer, right? It
Correct,
was like for cancer research. Yeah,
correct,
I
yeah.
remember it.
Um, Crazy, right? Like you, who would know like like a piece of
I
tech
forgot about that.
Pokemon,
Wow.
like a piece of I said Pokemon, a piece of like technology for games is helping out in some way, in some shape or form, even if it's a little bit or not. Improvement of life for somebody, you know, it's pretty dope.
No, I agree. Well, Kelvin, it was awesome talking to you. We definitely covered a lot today. We
I
got
feel like this
some.
flew by, right? I feel like we just
Yeah,
kind of,
this is the quickest
but
50
not
minutes I've
really. It's
ever.
been 50 minutes. Like,
It's
it's
been
crazy.
50 minutes. Yeah. So that's all for today's episode of Project Tech Gaming. New episodes of Project Tech Gaming are available Thursday on major podcast services. We also post videos of our podcasts on YouTube at Project Tech Gaming as well. If you enjoy the podcast, send us a sub. Kelv, awesome conversation, dude, as always.
Yeah, this was great. I enjoyed it, and I think next week is gonna be great. Next week is gonna. I'm sure.
I feel good about the technology, like the cats, the 3D printing thing, or not 3D printing.
That was a good one to like end it with.
Yeah, like that. Like that's. I'm like, damn. Like I feel good now. Like that. If I ever get into a car accident or something, I could get a transplant. You know.
Oh, it's not that. Oh, well, we'll see. I don't think that's how it works, but all right.
Totally kidding. But yeah, I'll see you next week, and adios, everyone.
See you guys.